walk with me.
The fool hath said in his heart, there is no God. They are corrupt, they have done abominable works. There is none that doeth good. The I am looked down from heaven upon the children of men to see if there were any that did understand and seek God. They are all gone aside. They are all together become filthy. There is none that doeth good, no, not one. All the workers of iniquity, no knowledge. Who eat up my people as they eat bread, and call not upon the I am. There were they in great fear, for God is in the generation of the righteous. Ye have shamed the counsel of the poor, and because the I am is his refuge. Oh, that salvation of Israel will come out of Zion. When the I am bringeth back the captivity of his people, Jacob shall rejoice, and Israel shall be glad. Yes. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. We've just come from the book of Psalms, chapter 14. And deliver me from the hands of evil spirits who have sway over the thoughts of men's hearts. And let them not lead me astray from thee, my God. Establish thou me and my seed forever, that we go not astray from henceforth and forevermore. Jubilee chapter 12, verse 20. Yes. And we thank God for you, and we give God the glory and the praise, yes. And we also thank God for those of you that have been with us since the beginning, since I've started, and I know one of you are. I see you. She talks to me every day, her and a few others, and just reassures me, and I thank God for you. And I thank God for those of you that have joined between then and now, and we thank God for those of you that are just subscribed, and those of you on the shared platforms that subscribe or follow. We thank God for you too, and we thank God for those of you that are about to subscribe, in calling those things that are not as though they are. Yes, we're in the book of Jasher, chapter 22. I believe. I think it's chapter 22. Sometimes you get a little old and you just look at it. Yeah, chapter 22. Chapter 22, and we stopped at the 28th verse. Yes, we stopped at the 28th verse. And we recapped how, in our recap, as you prepare, we're going to start reading at Jasher chapter 22 and verse 29. Yes, 22 and 29. But as a recap, we found out how the different children of Abraham and Hiram had moved to different parts of Israel. Now, you must note that if you look at the map behind me, Israel also exceeds beyond Jordan. Now, this is because of wars and colonization. Jordan, whatever they call Jordan, is supposed to be further back than just at that line at the Jordan River. The Jordan River is their line because of water. Even in the United States, a lot of the states are divided, and if you notice, their division is on water lines. Many of them are on, nobody is really dry inland, but they're on rivers, the water lines. And also, you find out even there, and then you got Syria, you got Iraq is way Iran, yeah. Iran is past the Euphrates. So anything on this side of the Euphrates is basically stolen. All of it stolen land, because the fact is of who God placed there before. Their hue was not the hue of what we see now. And it's because of Deuteronomy chapter 28. Yes. Now when the people of God, even those that are of Shem, begin to do those things which are contained in the law, but the promise is to Jacob. But when they do those things that are contained in the law, then they shall be delivered also. Yes, it's not necessarily, because there's a lot of mixing that went on throughout the years with the different children of Shem and Japheth, and you got Ham. Now Ham, many don't understand that Ham even extends across into the United States, and even Shem to the lower part. where the land was green and lush, the southern parts. Japheth, mostly the colder parts and everything else. Now, you also have three different types of people. You have Mongoloid, Negroid, and Caucasoid. These are the three types of people. Now, you still have a mix in there where a lot of mixing have been done. But the fact is, regardless, you notice in the land of Shem and Ham, many of the people, they want to be identified. Their ancestors wanted to be identified. The spirits got on them to the point where they think that they're the chosen people and that they're identified. But you cannot fool God, for even the scripture says God knows whom are his. See, this is what we must be confident in, that God knows those who are his. Yes, and there shall a remnant of the seed of Jacob be delivered. Yes. In that we must be confident, and we must govern ourselves accordingly. Now in verse 29, the children of Kesed also went to dwell there. Where? They dwelled in Amram, or Naharaim, unto this day. And they could find a place, and they went and they found a valley opposite to the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. Now, I didn't pay attention to even find the land of Shinar. And there they built themselves a city, and they called the name of that city Kesed, after the name of their father. That is the land of Kasdim, unto this day. Now, this is the time you read the book of Jubilees where the angel identified that he was an angel of presence. Now, we know in the book of Revelation, it is according these books conflict, because the 24 elders or elder-looking people were spirits before the throne of the Most High. But John called them 24 elders, and you got some people say, this is a tribe, 2 people out of each tribe of the tribe of Israel. No. They've been there ever since the beginning. They're spirits. They're the angels of spirits. They're the messengers of spirits. They're the angels that have been sent down to even minister to the children of Jacob and even Shem. Now, let us continue. It says, and they went and they found a valley opposite to the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. In verse 30, they there built themselves a city and called the name Kesed, after the name of their father, that is in the land of Kesedim unto this day. And Kesedim dwelt in that land. And they are fruitful and multiplied exceedingly. That's Kesedim. And Terah, father of Nahor and Abraham, went and took another wife in his old age. You get 60, 70 years old and you want to remarry. There's nothing wrong with it. I mean, young or old, it doesn't matter. As long as, in some states, everybody should marry at a legal age. I'll put it that way. But in there, they had no churches. They had no padres. They had no nothing. But the fact was the consummation marriage was what? Copulation, or some of you plain old call it sex. That was the consummation of marriage. This is where you cannot have sex with a person with no intention, other than that is what the Greeks call fornication. In other words, you have no intention of getting married. You just there enjoying pleasure on each other. That's all you're doing. You have no motive. You have no outlook on life. You have no look of, I want children and I want a family and I'm trying to grow together and all. You don't have that. But here in these days, now marriage has become an industry. It's money. From the wedding dresses to the traditional rings and all these other things, which really will get tainted and everything, but it's the heart. When you become one, it starts with the heart, then the body, and then children come. You've made yourself one in that child. Now, let's begin. And every time a couple breaks up, it's just like a divorce. When you break up with your girlfriend and you've been copulating together, or you had a baby together, and we didn't get married no way. Who was in charge? You put man and governments of this earth in charge of a sacred divine ordinance. You got a problem. I had to learn this. You're not in charge of that marriage. When you make that vow, you make it before God, not before that preacher. It doesn't matter. You can make it by yourself with your mother and father. or your sisters and brothers witness standing around before the angels of heaven. It has nothing to do with the government. But then you must register that marriage and that union together, but it's going to be registered anyway in this country, because when you live together, it's called common law, period. The government is not God. He didn't marry Adam and Eve. That's not their real name, but he did not marry them. No. In verse 31, he did not even marry nobody for thousands of years. But then when they seen they can make money off of it, that's when they got involved in marriage. And now they're involved with your children and all these other things, taking them from you if you don't have them in the hospitals and stuff like that. I mean, these businesses and these entities have just infiltrated. You can throw somebody in jail and take the children, but yet you can also sit up there and say, hey, you can abort them. Evil. This is what I call sodomite lies. If you want to learn more about the sodomite lies, go to verse 21. 21, 20, in that area of Jasher. Sodomite lies. Gaslighting you. Just stuff that doesn't make any sense in their laws. But it's directed toward those who don't look like them or who are not of that land. But anyway, all praises be to the Most High. Let's go again. And we're in verse 32. And Terah lived 25 years after he begot Zobah. Now, he bare him a son. 31, I got a little carried away. And Terah, the father of Nahor, which is Abram's brother. And Abraham went and took another wife in his old age, and her name was Pelilah. And she conceived and bare him a son and called his name Zobah. And Terah lived 25 years after he begot Zobah. And Terah died in that year. I guess Zobah was something else. But anyway, Terah died in that year. That is in the 35th year of the birth of Isaac, son of Abram. Now we're getting ready to lead somewhere else, as far as into our journey to where we get to the 12 tribes of Jacob, or as they call Israel. Now, verse 34. In the days of Terah were 205 years, and he was buried in Haran. And Zobah, the son of Terah, lived 30 years, and he begot Aram, Achilles, and Mirich. And Adam, the son of Zobah, son of Terah, had 3 wives, and he begot. Oh, that's a sin. You're not supposed to have. Oh, no, no 3 wives. Man, if you don't go somewhere and sit down. But anyway, this was the norm. Most people in that day, it was the norm. Sons meant that they guard the gate, and daughters with that was to give to other sons, that they might have more sons, that they might guard other gates, to build that nation. And the same thing today. It's still the same. Don't let these people hornswoggle. There's too many people on earth. No, there's not too many people on earth. There's not enough. And he begat 12 sons and 3 daughters. And the I Am gave Amram to the son of Zobah riches and possessions, and abundance of cattle and flock. It says, now, the Lord gave, Tata Nzambe, Yahuwah gave him riches and possessions, abundance of cattle and flocks and herds. And the man increased greatly, and Amram, the son of Zobah, his brother, all his household journeyed from Haran. And they went to dwell where they found a place, for their property was too great to remain in Haran. There's plenty of desert. There's plenty of lands that can be cultivated in the earth for the earth to be overpopulated. It's just most people love cuddling and going to the cities. They love convenience. You have caused this. And this is how many make their money, is they go to the polis, as they called in the Greek term. It means where they gather, the city. It was a polis. Metropolis was a big polis, city. It means city. Now, therefore, they went there and this is what too many of you are living in the Polish. You're lazy. Some of you are just plain old lazy. You got money, you're on the internet and all that thing. You get out of the city. Go build you a house somewhere else in the middle of nowhere. You got internet, you got satellites, you can make money all kind of ways. You don't have to be bunched up and watching over your back every day. Well, you can sit up there and be in the middle of nowhere and watch the enemy coming from a distance. Get married and go. Get out of there. Stop complaining what they doing. See, this is why I pray God run you out the city. For those of you who can afford to live out the city. When your neighbor is a few miles or maybe a mile or two away, it's good. You still have help. But anyway, I digress. Now, and Amram the son of Zoba and his brother and all his household journeyed from Haran, and they went to dwell where they found a place, for their property was too great to remain in Haran. For they could not stop in Haran together with their brethren, the children of Nahor. And Amram the son of Zoba went with his brethren, and they found a valley at a distance toward the eastern country, and they dwelt there. Now, this was somewhere near the Euphrates. And they also built a city there, and they called the name of that city Aram, after the name of their eldest brother, that is Aram Zoba, to this day. That's the day that Israel was before the mount, where this watcher or this angel of presence was telling him all these things. Now, how did it wind up in three books, 4 books? I don't know. But anyway, let's continue. That's the same thing with the 4 Gospels. How did that wind up that way? Now, and Isaac, the son of Abram, was growing up in those days, and Abram, his father, taught him the way of the I Am, to know the I Am. And the I Am was with him. You see, the I Am is going to prosper you. The Most High is going to prosper you. He's going to cause you to rise above your enemies, above those who would want you in poverty. Yes, even those of you that listen to me from the continent of Africa, as you see, the I Am is doing a lot of things there. He's redirecting things. Now, he works through circumstances. He's getting rid of your dead leaders and those who are not prospering you, and he's bringing about prosperity, and he's touching the heart of those who can help you and be a part of you, and to, just trade. Trade was always a thing with God. Now, he's also he's yet to come here in the United States and South America and straighten this mess out. He's going to do it, but your patience possess you your soul. And you have to teach your children to walk according. Stop going about Western thought. Go do the commandments, statutes, ordinances, and those things that God have instructed you to do. And I guarantee you, just like you will find it. In his time, he also has a time that he's going to do this too. Now, even up in there in the Middle East and all those parts, God is working. All that is colonized, but what is God doing? He's going to restore the people back to those regions. But now it's building up, it's culminating. There's a thing, if you watch and you read the book of Revelation, if you follow me from the first video to now, you're going to find out something where God is working up to. He reveals himself. It's just many. He's not going to reveal himself to many. It's right there. It's in his word as you watch and pray. Prayerfully watch, reading his word. You're going to see what God, as the events unfold before your eyes. The sidetracks is all these little weird sayings and all these little, yes, that's going to happen, but that's not where it's going. That's not the big picture. People's attention is carried off this way and that way. Focus on the Most High and his word. And now we're going to say that Isaac, the son of Abram, was growing up in verse 40 in those days, and Abram, his father, taught him the way of the I Am, to know the I Am. And the I Am was with him. And when Isaac was 37 years old, Ishmael, his brother, was going about with him in the tent. And with that, we're going to say peace.